Ryan Tannehill being traded to the New York Jets? It could happen. We're going to discuss all that and more on today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. Let's get it.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, we got a lot to talk about on today's show. Apparently, the New York Jets are very interested in acquiring Ryan Tannehill. We're going to discuss that. Also, the Titans are apparently interested in Derek Carr now that he's a free agent, and the Titans fill out the final spot on their coaching staff by hiring Justin Outten as running backs coach. We're getting into all of that today. Before we do, want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by the Ultimate Football GM app. Ever dreamed of becoming an NFL GM and managing your football franchise? Then this game is definitely for you. To download the game, just visit ultimate-gm.com or look it up in your app store. My listeners can get a 100% free boost to their franchise when they use the promo code Locked On in all caps in the game store. Thank you guys for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content, all platforms, Locked On Titans YouTube channel, your favorite podcast app, all year round and always for free. Make sure you get subscribed and stay subscribed to the Locked On Titans podcast so you never miss any of the content. But with that being said, the rumors got hot and heavy today, folks. I mean, every which way you turn, you're getting a Tennessee Titans rumor about the quarterback position. And this most recent rumor that popped up late in the day is quite interesting indeed. So, the first little rumbling we got of a rumor about Ryan Tannehill in the New York Jets came from Connor Hughes from Sportsnet New York. I know that's a strange name, but Connor Hughes is a prominent reporter in the New York area. He said that the Jets are, quote unquote, much higher on Ryan Tannehill than some think. That's what's believed in the NFL. He also did mention, though, that Tannehill would be the fourth choice for the Jets behind Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo. But there is a realm where you could see Aaron Rodgers going back to Green Bay, Derek Carr going to the Saints, Jimmy Garoppolo going to the Buccaneers or Carolina or something like that. And then the Jets are left looking for a veteran quarterback, and Tannehill would be a great option for them. So you're seeing those reports. He did say, don't sleep on Tannehill. The full quote, don't sleep on Tannehill. There's a feeling around the NFL that the Jets are much higher on him than some want to believe. So that was the first little rumbling we got of the Jets' interest in Ryan Tannehill. And then we got a report from my guy Titans Rossi saying that the Jets would pay a second and a fourth and would take on Tannehill's contract in full. Now, look, I'm not trying to hate or question anything whatsoever. Titans Rossi is my guy. All right, we are friendly. But everything I know about the salary cap means that part about the Jets taking Tannehill's contract in full, it just can't happen. So, guys, dead money in the NFL is guaranteed money that's already been paid out to the player. The Jets can't take dead money from the Titans. That's money that's already been paid out to Ryan Tannehill. They already paid him that money. The Jets can't take that money for him. So, listen, maybe the second and the fourth makes sense. I do think it makes sense. You guys are way lower on Ryan Tannehill than like the rest of the NFL, okay? Tannehill would absolutely garner a second-round pick. I mean, that's just the truth. So, to me, I do believe that the Jets would take Ryan Tannehill in a trade. I do believe that the Titans could get a second-round pick out of Ryan Tannehill, but salary cap doesn't work in a way where you can take dead money from other teams. If Tannehill had bonus money that was set to be paid in the future, a team trading for Ryan Tannehill could agree, yes, I'll take on that bonus money that he's owed in the future. But you can't take money with Ryan Tannehill that's already been paid to Ryan Tannehill. So the thing about the contract, guys, I'm breaking it down to you. The Titans would have $18 million of dead money if they trade Ryan Tannehill. If they trade Ryan Tannehill after June the 1st, it would be $9 million of dead money. Okay? So, to me, I do believe that the Jets would be interested in Tannehill. I do believe that they could get a couple of draft picks, maybe a second and a sixth, something like that for Ryan Tannehill. But the part about the contract that you're hearing out there, that just doesn't make sense with everything that we know about how contracts and trades work. So that's what I would say about that. The rumor is there, though. And if the Titans think about it, if the Titans trade Tannehill for a second-round pick and a late-round pick, that would make it easier for them to move up in the draft and get a guy that they really want. So think about that. That's a possibility as well. So with that being said, though, had to go over that latest rumor here that popped up late in the day. Again, it is all just rumors. Nothing confirmed at this time, but it's interesting to hear the Titans so heavily involved in these quarterback discussions. Moving forward, though, that's not the only quarterback rumor that we got on Tuesday. The Titans have been linked to yet another veteran quarterback, but I'm here to tell you guys, I think it's absolute nonsense. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Also, the Titans filled the final spot on their coaching staff. I'm going to hit on that at the end of the show. But before we move forward, do want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by the Ultimate Football GM app. You've heard me talk about this mobile game app, and I can't tell you how much fun I've had competing against my fellow Locked On NFL hosts. Congrats to Chris Carter from Locked On Steelers. He was the Locked On NFL champion. Blah, blah, blah. Congrats to him. But now it's your turn to compete. More on that later, though. Have you ever dreamed of being an NFL GM and managing your own football franchise? Well, your dream can come true, and this game is the one for you. You manage every strategic aspect of the team. Hire coaches, fire coaches, hire coordinators, set your scheme, set your roster, trade, draft, free agency, cuts, everything, all the ups and downs of the season. It's absolutely fantastic. And like we did with Locked On, you can get in a big group, in a big league with all your friends. And guys, it's the off season. What a perfect way to pass time until the next football season comes around. Right now, Locked On Titans listeners can get a 100% free boost to their franchise when you use the promo code Locked On in all caps in the game store inside the Ultimate Football GM app. That's Locked On in all caps for a 100% free boost. Download the game right now. Visit ultimate-gm.com or just look it up in the App Store. That's ultimate-gm.com. The Ultimate Football GM. Start your dynasty today. Titans fans, we got a lot to talk about still on today's show. We just talked about the Ryan Tannehill to the New York Jets rumors. Now we got to talk about Derek Carr, who is officially a free agent as of me recording this show. And from a prominent NFL insider, he was connected to the Tennessee Titans. I personally think it is absolute nonsense. So I'm going to break that down to you guys. Also, at the end of the show, the Titans have filled the final spot on their coaching staff. We're going to talk about that hire. I think it is fantastic. And I got to tell you guys, I came into the segment laughing a little bit. Joey says, doesn't Derek Carr wear eyeliner? Listen, I don't really care if he does or whatever, but I have always made the joke that Derek Carr is just emo Ryan Tannehill. He's just Ryan Tannehill with eyeliner. You know what I mean? And Jimmy Garoppolo is just handsome Ryan Tannehill. You know what I'm saying? And Kirk Cousins is just religious Ryan Tannehill, although Ryan Tannehill is religious in his own right. But you guys get what I'm saying there. Look, Ian Rappaport went on NFL Network last night or Monday night, to be precise, and said that Derek Carr will be a free agent. Since then, he has been released by the Raiders. And he mentioned four teams as having interest in Derek Carr. Number one, the New York Jets. Number two, the New Orleans Saints. In no particular order. I'm just ordering them out for you. So the Jets, the Saints, the Panthers, and the Titans. I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail, but I'm doing a heavy eye roll in the thumbnail. And really, it was in reaction to the Derek Carr news. The Ryan Tannehill rumors hit like a flood here right before I went on. So had to take that to the number one spot. But I'm just rolling my eyes at this Derek Carr nonsense, man. So number one to me, even if you think that Derek Carr is better than Ryan Tannehill, even if you think that, I don't. I think Ryan Tannehill is a better player than Derek Carr. But I'll humor you. Even if you do think that Derek Carr is better than Ryan Tannehill, it's not by much. There's not a huge gap there. It's not like Derek Carr is in the Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen tier. Derek Carr is right with Kirk Cousins and Ryan Tannehill and Jimmy Garoppolo. And I mean, it's tier 2 back end, tier 3 high end game manager. So even if you think Derek Carr is better than Ryan Tannehill, that's not by a lot. So why would the Titans cut Ryan Tannehill, eat $18 million of dead money, and then pay what to Derek Carr? And if they paid Derek Carr anything over $18 million, it doesn't make any sense. You got Tannehill's $18 million in dead money. Derek Carr is going to get paid more than $20 million. Probably around $30 to $35 million a season. So you're going to eat $18 million of dead money in Ryan Tannehill and then pay Carr whatever he is going to get paid. And then you're going to be paying more than you would have paid if you just kept Ryan Tannehill. And for what? And for what? Even if you think Carr is better, it's not a big upgrade. It's not an upgrade enough to justify paying more than what you paid Ryan Tannehill. I'd rather pay Ryan Tannehill $36 million than get Derek Carr and pay over $40 million for my quarterback spot with Ryan Tannehill's dead money included. Why in the world would they do that? How does that make any sense at all? It doesn't. It doesn't is the answer. Okay? So this Derek Carr stuff is real nonsense to me. I don't understand why it's happening, where it's coming from, but it's nuts. And I'm saying, even if you think Derek Carr is better than Tannehill, it still doesn't make any sense. So with that being said, though, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it honest, despite my feelings and my rebuttals. There is one scenario where maybe it would work. And the only scenario is if the Titans trade Ryan Tannehill after June the 1st and they only have $9 million of dead money. Let's say the Titans trade Ryan Tannehill after June the 1st. Okay? And you get draft picks back. You only have $9 million in dead cap. And then you sign Derek Carr for $30 million. Well, now you have Derek Carr at $39 million for your total output for the quarterback position with an extra couple of picks from trading Tannehill. That scenario, I guess, makes some sense. But, one, The Titans aren't going to wait until June to figure out their quarterback situation. Derek Carr isn't going to wait until June to sign with the Titans. So the only plausible scenario that would even make sense isn't a realistic one. So look, I'm just going to put a book on it, or put an end on it like this. And old takes exposed. Go ahead and get your notepad ready. The Titans are not getting Derek Carr. It doesn't make any sense. There is no logical or reasonable path that would lead them to Derek Carr. I think that Ryan Tannehill is a better player anyways. But even if you think that Derek Carr is better, it's not that much of an upgrade to justify paying more for the quarterback position than you're paying with Tannehill right now. If you wanted Derek Carr, just pay Tannehill $36 million. And you're not going to commit. To me, the biggest mistake that the Titans could make, I've heard some people talk about extending Ryan Tannehill. I've heard some people talk about bringing in Derek Carr, this and that. I could not think of a worse mistake than tying yourself to a 30-year-old quarterback for multiple more years. At minimum, stick with Tannehill this year and then get off this contract entirely next year. I mean, I'm seeing some wild things. But I guess that's what the offseason's all about, folks. But with that being said, let's get off of Rumor Island and go to something that is real, that did happen. The Titans completed their coaching staff, and I think it is an excellent, excellent hire. So we're going to go over who the Titans hired, why I think it's such a great move, all of that in just a moment. Before we get into it, though, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is the #1 sports book in America. And I know football season is over, but the NBA season is just starting to heat up. March Madness is right around the corner. Right now, speaking of NBA, you can get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 if you're a new customer on FanDuel. That's bonus bets back, even if your first bet doesn't win. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. It's safe, secure, super easy to use. You can bet on everything from money lines to point scores to threes made. I love way more fun than betting on an NFL game is doing a single game parlay on an NBA game. Damian Lillard over 30 points. Anthony Davis under 30 points. Anthony Simons 3 threes. Rui Hachimura over 2 rebounds. Trailblazers money line over 233.5. I mean, putting that all together, I call them daily lotto tickets. Rather than going and getting a scratch-off lotto ticket or something for $10, I would rather put together a single game parlay on an NBA game that cost me $10 and maybe hit for over $1,000. I mean, it makes the NBA experience so much better. Don't miss your chance to get your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/LockedOn. That's FanDuel.com/LockedOn to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Titans fans, we got to cap off today's show. We've been on Rumor Island all show long. We talked about Tannehill to the Jets. And look, despite some of the reports and some of the rumors out there, everything I know about the NFL salary cap, you can't take dead money even if you want to. That's money that has already been paid to Ryan Tannehill. The Jets can't take money that the Titans have already paid. They can only take money that hasn't been paid yet. So I don't really see how the Jets can take the contract in full. That would just be the salary of Ryan Tannehill. But regardless of all that, the Titans were also involved in Derek Carr rumors, but I just explained why I think that's utter nonsense, quite frankly. But now let's get off Rumor Island, talk about things that did happen, and the Titans filled out the final spot on their coaching staff with Justin Outten from the Denver Broncos. Before we get into that, I do want to thank you guys again for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content on all platforms, including the Locked On Titans YouTube channel and your favorite podcast app, all year round, and always for free. Never going to charge you guys for the show. So with that in mind, throw a thumbs up on the video. Give me a like on the video. I don't ask for money. All I ask is for the press of a button. But the Titans hired Justin Outten from the Denver Broncos. He actually was the Denver Broncos offensive coordinator and play caller the last 2 games of the season. And the Broncos scored, I believe, 24 points and then 31 points. Basically, the best version of the Broncos offense last year came from Justin Outten. Now, I don't know how Outten wasn't picked up to do more and have a bigger role on a different team, but the Titans did interview Outten earlier in the offseason, so maybe this is something that we could have seen coming. But not only was Outten hired to be the running backs coach, he was also hired to be the Titans' run game coordinator. I think this is excellent because Outten is a younger guy. He's a guy who can grow into a role. He's a guy who's a nice mind, smart guy, and obviously he brought the best out of the Broncos offense. And with how middling their offense was last year, to see Outten be available to just be a running back coach and a run game coordinator, that's a big hire. And it's something that goes to Steve. I'm just going to give you a little fair piece of advice. That Alex dude is a Eagles fan troll who just comes in and puts comments and likes and views on my show all the time. He's sad that his team gave up the second biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. Eagles players are crying and throwing a fit on social media, and the Chiefs are dunking on them all over the place. So just pay no mind to the sad Eagles fan in the comments every single day. But with that being said, back to my overall point here. And this was the point that I made when Lori Locust was hired. Mike Vrabel, I've said for a few years now, Mike Vrabel needs to follow the John Harbaugh path of hiring incredibly gifted, schematic people around him. Mike Vrabel ran a defense in Houston for 2 years. Mike Vrabel ran the Titans defense in 2020. Mike Vrabel stole play calling duties away from Dean Pease in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs in 2019. In every single scenario that I just outlined, Mike Vrabel has run a poor defense. His defenses have not performed well. Mike Vrabel is a great leader. He's a CEO, not only of the players, but of his coaching staff. Mike Vrabel is a very good football coach for those reasons. But when it comes to play calling, when it comes to the schematics, to me, it's pretty obvious that Vrabel needs to surround himself with as many brilliant minds as he possibly can and then manage all of them. Okay? So you get a good example for you guys. Jim Schwartz, the last few years, wasn't a coordinator, wasn't a play caller, but Mike Vrabel just wanted him on the staff as a brilliant mind. Shane Bowen, from all indications, seems to be a very good defensive coordinator. The Titans bring in Chris Harris, the passing game coordinator. That was a position that he just created to get Chris Harris on board and give him a promotion of sorts. On offense, you're bringing in a ton of different people. You're adding Charles London. You're moving people from your staff around. You're bringing in Justin Outten, who ran the Broncos offense. You're bringing in Tim Kelly prior to the 2022 season, making him passing game coordinator, then elevating him. You're adding Lori Locust. I mean, Mike Vrabel is creating positions on his coaching staff that aren't on every coaching staff around the NFL because he wants to get as many people involved as possible and as many smart football minds as they can. So, to me, Outten is a great hire on its own because of what he was able to accomplish with the Broncos. But it's even more impressive when you see it as a sign of growth from Mike Vrabel. We always talk about the players developing, getting better, all of that. But Mike Vrabel was a first-time head coach in 2018 when he took over the Titans. Mike Vrabel has grown as well as a coach and learned more. And he talked about that in his press conference earlier this offseason. He understands what's necessary now on his coaching staff. He has grown as a coach. So, to me, the Outten move is fantastic. Again, run game coordinator, running backs coach, a guy who got the best out of the Broncos offense late in the season last year. But to me, it's more of a sign of how Mike Vrabel is improving and how Mike Vrabel is growing as a head coach. And to me, that's just as important as the development and growth of any player on the team. I mean, that's huge. So that's incredibly important. But little recap for you guys. Ryan Tannehill to the Jets. The rumors are swirling. Apparently, the Jets would be interested. We got that from a New York Jets source, from a Titans source. They're willing to pay a couple of picks. That all makes sense to me. The contract stuff's a little iffy. I don't think the Jets can take dead money from the Titans because dead money is guaranteed money that's already been paid out. So be skeptical of that. Derek Carr was rumored as having the Titans' interest, according to Ian Rappaport. I think that's complete nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. And then Justin Outten hired as running back coach and run game coordinator for the Titans. If you're just joining us, if you just popped into the live stream and you missed anything, as soon as I end the live stream in a couple of minutes, you're going to be able to go back and check out the beginning of the episode. So make sure you do that. Thumbs up on the video right now. Do appreciate you guys tuning in. That's going to do it for me today, folks. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.